one, you're live.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today. If you guys do not know who I am, my name is Kelly Stewart. Kelly in Vegas, and I am filling in. Well, I'm not going to do as good a job as he does. Andy Lang, he's going to be out for the rest of the week, so you guys are stuck with me this $2 Thursday at Sports Memo. We're going to talk some around the world. We've got Steve Merril coming in to talk some MLB and NBA. We've got Tokyo Brandon coming in to talk about his new show called Total Bases. If you guys haven't checked that out yet on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, boy, are you guys missing out. He's going to hit on Rays, Astros, Nationals, Mariners. We've got Nick Parsons from Sports Memo to talk some NHL. And the world famous Dave Mason from Bet Online is going to join us for a bookmaker segment at the end of the show. No Yanni today. He is recording some stuff for the UFC, so make sure you guys go check that out as well. Similar to last call, if you guys have joined me on there, I love to have my odds logic screen open. It is the best. That way we can follow along, make sure we're getting the up-to-date odds, sides, totals, what have you. Steve Merril, we're going to let you come in first. See what you're up to. I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks since Ariel Epstein's been filling in for me doing baseball, and then I get the call up from the bullpen today. It says, we need you. Andy's out for the rest of the week. We hope he's feeling better. What's going on, Steve? You're looking wonderful with that new 4K camera I forced you to buy.
Yes, the world is different now. I see the world clearer. It's brighter. It's sharper and brighter, so I do appreciate that. So I've got two trophies for you. First of all, according to Johnny Detroit, you won today, so you get a trophy. You're the winner because you're the host. And then because you gave me the camera, I'll give you a second trophy. One of these is this is from the fall season. Most satisfying championship I've ever won as a coach, because fall ball is a mix of like decent players and kids that just want to have fun. This is last fall. And, we play everyone during the regular season because everyone makes the playoffs and we play to win. I had all 12 kids on my team pitch an inning and get a strikeout, which is unheard of. And these other two teams are the top two seed, loaded their lineup with these like 16-year-old non-high school guys against 13-year-olds. And we beat both of them in the playoffs to win the whole thing. So very satisfying championship trophies. One of them is for Alex, who did not show up at the championship game, and parts unknown. So I'll give you the other one, Kelly, because you're the winner today as the host of WagerTalk Today.
Yeah, I didn't mean to be the winner.
No, I'm kidding with you.
We saw this Slack
It's a Johnny Detroit stab right there to mess with them.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I said, hey, Steve gets to come on anyway, fill in for Yanni the Greek. I always love hanging out with Steve Merril. He always provides such great insight. Steve, starting off, let's talk about what's hot and let's talk about what's not. What have you been red hot in?
Well, do we talk about a 1 week or a 1 year sample? Because that determines what's hot and what's not. Baseball's been hot over the last year. Baseball's been cold over the past week. So I guess I need to change my 29-year handicapping process, right? Because we've had a down week in baseball. By the way, when you have a 6-0 lead with the Diamondbacks on Tuesday, they decide to go up 6-2 in the 8th inning still, then lose the game outright. Probably not going to have a great week. And I said this a couple weeks ago with the NBA playoffs. When the second round began, it was bizarro world. The four road teams won game one. It was a 350-1 long shot. We're not going to have a good week probably. And what have we done since then? We've dominated the NBA. We've swept the board like the last 6 days, I think. The free play video is crushing it. But baseball's down this week. So there's two ways to look at it. You can jump ship and run, or you can get on board at the right time, because I'm still up over 100 units over the past year in Major League Baseball, even with like a 1-7 run, whatever it is, over the past week. So once again, it just shows the importance of short-term versus long-term. Anybody who bought like a 3-day sampler probably thinks baseball is the worst thing ever. Anybody who's been with me for the past year thinks baseball is the best thing ever. I'll give you a hint. 1 year equals a greater sample size than 1 week. So it's a textbook example of how you have to approach this if you want to be a long-term consistent winner.
Yeah, I was just in the Slack channel with Jesse Schewel, and he was talking about how CFL and NFL has been great for him, but last season college football wasn't good. And I said, you know what? Just take my college football underdogs and bet them against the spread. Don't you dare put a single cent on the money line or they will break your heart. And he immediately writes back, oh yeah, you had Georgia Tech versus Georgia. And I'm like, I didn't need that reminder. It's like summertime. It's beautiful outside. I'm working on my tan, working on my yard. We don't need to talk about college football heartbreaks. We can save those for September. Steve Merril, let's hit on a couple of these games on the odds logic screen. Let's go to the NBA, mainly because I'm curious to hear your thoughts, right? And Dave Mason might have some thoughts on this as well, leading up to the NBA Finals. This last couple series has just been, well, not great, right? Thunder closed it out last night in a blowout. I didn't even stay up for it. It was ugly before it's even started. Now we've got New York, who is hanging on by a thread to the Pacers. New York, a couple different sites, pretty much 4 across the board. Open 5 though. So let's talk about why you think a lot of that money is just coming on in Indiana as the dog.
Yeah, definitely ask Dave Mason, but I'm pretty sure he'll tell you the public is on Indiana. I did the video. I'm doing the videos for every NBA playoff game every day here on WagerTalk TV. I've got a deep dive into Game 5 tonight here on the channel. So after this show today, make sure you check out that free play video, side total, player props every day. But one thing I noticed yesterday, even early on when I recorded that advanced video, is that Indiana was looking very public. And now that we've seen that line move, as you said, Kelly, from -5 down to -4, public is heavy on the Pacers. You know, the most public play I've probably seen this entire NBA postseason was Game 3 between the Thunder and T-Wolves. The public thought Oklahoma City was a lock after winning the first 2 games, and that was the only game Minnesota won in the series, and they won by over 40. So I don't know if this game is as public. By the way, that's one of the reasons I love the comments on my videos. We have a lot of sharp viewers, but we still get the masses of the crowd, the wisdom of the crowd, or in that case, the non-wisdom. I never saw so many people last Saturday chime in on OKC. I'm definitely seeing some love for Indiana tonight, and it makes sense. They're up 3-1 in this series. They won both games in New York last week, and they're getting +5, now +4 points. But I think this is a spot where maybe we can fade the public. Keep in mind, fading the public on the blind doesn't always work. You don't want to play ugly teams. But whenever you get a quality team in a fade the public spot like Minnesota in Game 3 or New York tonight, I think they're worth a look. And I think that's the main reason this line is dropping, is that the public is on the dog.
All right, Steve, looking ahead to the NBA Finals, if it is the Pacers, which we're going to probably assume that it's going to be, what are your thoughts on that matchup? I think that it's going to be interesting. 2 smaller markets, if you will. Do you think it's going to get the pub that, you know, no LeBron, no Steph, no Boston, no Miami, no bigger market teams in this? Are we planning on seeing it kind of be like a little lackluster?
So it's funny, Kelly, when the conference finals began, I was thinking to myself, I don't think I ever said this in a video, but we're going to have a first-time champ. 3 of the 4 teams have never won the title, and the Knicks haven't won in over 50 years, since I wasn't even born when they won back in 1973. But then I started thinking yesterday, did the Seattle Sonics ever win a title? I believe the Bullets beat the Sonics in '79. My Washington Bullets with Wes Unseld. So I have to go back and check, because the Thunder, keep in mind, are the Seattle Supersonics relocated. Pacers, a former ABA team. Pretty sure they've never won the title. I believe maybe they got there once with Reggie Miller. I'd have to go back and look. Looking at advanced lines right now, FanDuel does have advanced matchups on this, the entire series prices. And right now, Oklahoma City is going to be a 9-point favorite in Game 1 next Thursday night. And this will start June 5th. It's locked in. They're not going to start it early because it's the NBA Finals, which means OKC will have a full 7 days of rest. If Indiana wins tonight, that would give them 6 days of rest. If not, Game 6 is going to be Saturday. So once again, the Pacers are going to get down to about 4 or 2 days of rest if they don't clinch tonight. Likely won't as a 4-point dog, which means OKC is going to come into this finals next Thursday night with a big rest advantage. Mixed results on that over time. Normally, you come out pretty strong, and they are the best defensive team in the NBA this year. Total is priced at 232.5 for Game 1 next week, though. And obviously the Pacers like to play fast, but OKC is the better defensive team. But OKC plays fast on offense. So while it might not be a premier matchup as far as big name cities and, you know, all overall big name players, could be a pretty good series, Kelly, as these are going to be 2 fast-paced teams to get up and down. And with the the early look-ahead line at 232.5, that's a really high total for an NBA Finals. And by the way, the series price right now, we're seeing OKC at about -770, take back +540 on Indiana. So not much of a matchup according to the odds makers.
All right, no Yanni the Greek here for a Steam report today, but we have my favorite guy, Steve Merril. Why? Because we both love to fade the public. So if you guys have not checked out his videos on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, he kind of gave you a synopsis of what you're going to see there as well. Let's kind of talk a little Steam report of your own. Let's go to the odds logic screen and kind of tell me which baseball games have moved the most and which you think are actually from sharp money.
So real quick, before we go to baseball, I'll finish off the NBA as far as the Steam report there. We talked about the Pacers dropping to 4. But if you look at the odds logic screen right now, you'll see that the highest over-under line is at Pinnacle right now, which is a very sharp offshore book, and it's sitting at 224 to the under. Whereas Bet Online, which is a pretty sharp offshore book as well, is at 222.5 juice to the over. So the over-under is kind of neutral right now. I do think Pacers over, Knicks under, by the way, is correlated. Can't imagine New York wants to run and gun after losing 3 of the 4 in this series. Looking ahead to baseball here, very small card on Getaway Thursday. We do have a doubleheader because the Braves-Phillies game was rained out. Right after I did a free play video yesterday, about an hour later, the game was rained out. And so then we thought we were getting the same pitching matchup for game 1. So we repurposed it. I did a new intro, and then they switched up the pitchers. And what's funny is right after the announcement yesterday that they're going to play a doubleheader, Philly said Wheeler's starting game 1 since he was going to start yesterday. Braves undecided. And now they flip-flopped. And now Wheeler is going in game 2 tonight. Sanchez is going in 1. But the Braves kept Smith-Shawver as their starter. One thing I liked when I thought it was going to be Wheeler and Smith-Shawver was the under, but I still like it with Sanchez and Smith-Shawver. He had his worst start of the season last week against the Nationals, but keep in mind that was a quick revenge spot as he had just beaten them exactly a week ago, and then last Thursday he got blown out. I think it's a bounce-back spot for him, and Wheeler hasn't given up an earned run, by the way, in his last 3 starts, so he's a tough guy to fade, but now we don't have to worry about that. So Braves may be a little bit of a live dog in game 1, but I do like the under 8. Under 8 in game 1 at 1 o'clock Eastern if you're looking for something, even with the pitching change. Phillies 10-1, their last 11, tough team to fade. And then the night game, we've got Sale and Wheeler. Not too much movement there. In that game, it's a pick-em price. Should be a really good pitching matchup there as well. Would also lean under there, but you got to check game 1, right? If the bullpens get a lot of use, then all bets are off. But otherwise, I'd lean under in both the Braves and Phillies games today. And then we only have a couple other games, really only 3 other games, I believe, on the board. I know Tokyo Brand is going to break some of those down. Very little movement in the Astros and Rays. A little bit of early money on the Rays as a dog with Boz Stereo, Boz against Gusto. And then my Washington Nationals against Seattle. Nationals blowout win as a road dog against Seattle last night. That total's sitting 7.5, very little movement. We've seen a little bit of money maybe coming on Seattle, but not much to talk about there. And that is pretty much it. Athletics and Blue Jays. Not Oakland, not Sacramento, just the Athletics. Their city is the. The early money is coming a bit on the total on that one. We've seen a couple spots drop about a half, maybe 5 cents to the under. And then with Toronto as the favorite, we've seen actually some decent money come in. I'd say the Blue Jays money has probably been the only substantial move this morning, minus 140 up to minus 160. So early sharp money, maybe Berrios and the Blue Jays, but that's about it overall on a small baseball card today on Thursday.
Always appreciate Steve Merril filling in, even when it is last minute, at Steve Merril over there on X. Again, you guys can check out his videos. He does a great job with solo videos if you're looking for a specific game, or again, his Fade the Public. Steve, anything you would like to leave our audience with?
Yeah, so let's have a little controversy. Let's break the internet right up. Ariel and I on last call started randomly talking about Pete Rose, and we got like 6,000 views on the Instagram clip that John clipped for us. Look, I know you and Johnny and you guys, Clay Travis. It just popped up on Instagram today that he is challenging Angel Reese. I know he's done this before, but viewers, comment below in the replay or in the live chat now. He's putting up $100,000 that he can beat Angel Reese on a 1-on-1 to 15. One game, 2 and 1 point shots, take it back out to the 3-point line. Angel Reese is 6'3", 165. Clay Travis is 6', 185. 46 years old. He says he handles the ball decent, has a decent shot. I would make Angel Reese a heavy favorite. I know she's a horrendously bad shooter.
Whoa. Heavy favorite? Because I'm going to tell you.
What are you going to make the? What are you going to make the odds? Okay, you give me your line.
No. I'm going to tell you what a bookmaker in Costa Rica texted me, and I said, is Dave Mason going to put this up? So I'm going to ask Dave at the end of the show if he's going to end up putting this up. But I got a text from my buddy Raphael, and I said, all right, what's the line? And he said Angel Reese minus 150.
Taking that all day. I had to see 200-300. Here's the X factor is that I Googled, and AI is making it better, Clay Travis basketball player. And it all said Clay Travis is not a professional basketball player. He is a media personality. But he went to George Washington, and apparently he was a student manager, which makes me think he might be decent. But I don't know if he played high school.
I played in high school. I think.
He played high school basketball. Oh, that's what I needed to find. Okay, never mind. I'm not making him a heavy dog anymore. See, this is the information we need.
This is the problem. Nobody gets good intel. All I have to do is pick up the phone and send a text message, and I can find out all the information you need. He was a little offended that he was as an underdog. I think I told him you should put up another 100 grand because you're an underdog. Bet 100 grand on yourself, give it to charity, and then you're gonna get your 100 grand back anyway. It's a free roll for charity.
I will say 100 grand made me a little suspect that he might be decent because that's a lot of money. But then again, it's a great marketing ploy. So what would you pay for a good ad and national exposure? But no, all jokes aside, he claimed 20 pounds. I heard him say that a couple times, which makes me think he thinks he can move her around maybe. But 3 inches for a big post player, a professional women's basketball player, I think that's the difference. He's going to have to hit the outside shots, but I think that height's going to be a problem. She is not a good shooter, but she's still
she's not a good shooter.
She's not.
Here's the reality. If we actually have a referee calling fair fouls, she's going to foul out before they get to 15. I mean, she's a bully down low. I'm not saying I'm not either. Like, I fouled out every basketball game I ever played in. Shocker. That being said, I think if they allow some like elbows, things like that, she could absolutely beat him straight up. But 3 inches is a lot. Get a hand in your face, block a shot. We'll see. I'm not sure what Clay's fadeaway jumper looks like, but if you could get just about 4 inches outside of the box, you might just be able to beat her down low. I don't know, Steve Merril. I thought your price was a little high. I'm going to stick with my -150.
No, if he's a high school basketball player, I'm making him a slight dog. All bets are off now. So this is the kind of information I needed. But by the way, I don't think this is ever going to happen. So it's right up there with the worst pro basketball team against the national champs or Duke or whatever. It's probably the same discussion. But yeah, ask Dave. I didn't realize this was big enough where that was maybe on his radar.
It's been around for a couple of days now. I've had some discussions with other people about it. I think it's rather just sometimes we just have these absurd things. We're in a lull of sports. Like the NBA finals aren't that excited. Another team from Florida is going to win the Stanley Cup. Baseball is just kind of on cruise control. Like, I think a lot of us in sports media are just bored until football season starts. And I think Clay Travis is one of those guys that's also bored.
Clay's done this before too, I believe. He's like he's challenged like the Las Vegas Aces against a high school boys team. I mean, he has some good stuff. He's not afraid to call his
the high school boys team, Bishop Gorman, IMG, the private school from Kentucky, they would probably beat the Las Vegas Aces.
Well, it sounded funny to me when I saw high school boys. I was like, no way. And then, but you're exactly right. What you just named there is like a high-level college all-star team.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
Absolutely.
And we all know a college all-star team would probably be the women's team. So yeah, it's symmetric. Right?
Guys, I will say, if you're wondering if they're going to offer it at Bet Online, here's an offering they have up right now. Alien beings to be confirmed. Who's going to be abducted by aliens first? So I think it's probably pretty good odds. There will be odds up for the Angel Reese Clay Travis.
And Dan, it's a great example of why, because they're going to hold your money for the next 6 years on the alien thing and never have to pay out.
Genius.
5% interest.
Genius.
I can't.
I will book all these bets right now and hold your money, and then when it never happens, I'll give it back to you 5 years from now, interest free, after I've accumulated 5% interest every year. It's a great move. Great move.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love Steve Merril as well. We're going to get out of here because we're running late. Hopefully Andy Lang is not watching, going, Kelly, you're not staying on track, which is what I tell every single one of the other Wager Talk hosts to do. So we're going to do a little quick around the world. I want you guys to go to the homepage, wagertalk.com. Right there in the top gray bar, you're going to click free picks. Right now, we got a free pickup from Brian Power. We got Jimmy Adams. We got Mark Zeno. If you guys are looking for free baseball picks, there is a plenty. Ben Burns, Ralph Michaels. Jesse has an NBA play up. Ralph's kid, Jeff. Sorry, Jeff, that sounds a little condescending. Ralph's son, Jeff Michaels, also has a baseball play up on a total. And of course, you guys can go check out the gold sheet. Yep, they already have a season win total up right now on the free picks page. Tokyo Brandon, he's got a free pickup, but we're going to get it right here on the show instead. Welcome in Tokyo Brandon to the show. There he is. We got to get him one of those 4K cameras because he is blurry this morning, but we're going to get through it, Brandon. Oh, yeah. It's probably just that Tokyo Wi-Fi. Who knows? We're just going to go with it. Maybe it makes that hat look a little bit better. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure out where you got it. You want to tell anybody where on planet Earth you bought a hat that looks like that?
Brett Michaels' closet. Where else would you get it? Am I blurry?
So much.
No idea.
Is that you? Is that you and Brett Michaels? That would make a lot more sense to me now on your personality and clothing choices.
Maybe similar.
Brandon, you guys can catch him on the new show Total Bases right now on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Him, Adam Trigger, and Brian Leonard. They spent an entire hour. I don't know another show out there like it. This was an entire hour on the baseball slate. Our very own Tiger King. Very nice, Johnny Detroit. This one's an entire hour on baseball. I don't watch it.
Yes, we do.
I don't like baseball. I can just send Brandon a text and say, Brandon, what are we betting today? But you guys should definitely go watch it. Jump in the comments section. They are highly entertaining. I have seen nothing but good comments. Brandon, anything you'd like to add about the new Total Bases show?
You've seen nothing but good comments, but you haven't seen the show because
it doesn't matter. I go in the YouTube back end and I read the comments. I look at the thumbnails and I look and see how long people watch. Yeah. That's all that matters.
It's three guys who love to geek out on baseball. So it's not for casual fans. It's more for like people who really want to get into the nitty gritty of baseball. And we do deep dives into pretty much every game. And we base the show on what the commenters want to hear. So we don't have a script. We don't really sell anything either. We just talk baseball. So I know you don't want to hear that, but we just geek out on baseball. And you know, baseball fans are pretty much some of the most passionate and knowledgeable ones of all the sports. So they love the deep dives and they love the knowledge. So it's shooting off. We're getting lots of good responses. We're going to keep going every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern on WagerTalk's YouTube channel.
Yeah, love it. You guys are live, as you mentioned. So if you guys have a question, you guys can just go right there, ask the guys, and they will get to you. They also do a little 3-team parlay. Every guy gives out their favorite play for the day. And it was going hot until you guys asked our producer, Dan Alexander, to make you a graphic. But we're going to blame Trig for that one. He mushed it with the lovely, it's 9 a.m. Eastern. I don't know what time it is in Tokyo, but 9 a.m. Eastern live on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Brandon, let's get into a couple of these games. Rays, Astros up first. Got the odds logic screen open. As Steve Merril mentioned, there was a little bit of money. Roof closer open. Yes, there is no roof because it got blown off during Hurricane Milton. But that's okay because the Rays are on the road at the Nationals today. Talk to me about this one.
Yeah, I have been known to drink Fireball live on that show, by the way. People seem to like that. I don't know why. It's generally 10 p.m. here in Japan when we do that show. So Friday nights, the Fireball comes out and we get jiggy with it. Let's talk about the Nationals. What are we talking about? The Astros or the Nationals?
Sorry, Rays, Astros. That was my fault. Oh. I said that wrong. Rays, Astros. Rays are at the Astros. And the Astros are one of those teams that I know has been pretty good over the last couple of years, but they've kind of started to take a back seat. The Rays have been quietly okay. We'll say that, right? I'm just south here of Tampa. And so I do hear inklings that even though they're playing at Steinbrenner Field, they're not a bad team. Talk to me about this matchup. Houston minus 115, Tampa Bay minus 105, and the total is 8.
Yeah, I have a couple plays on this particular game. I like the matchup, and you are correct. The Astros, very solidly run organization. I do rankings. I used to be a scout for an MLB team, and I rank the batting, the bullpens, and the starting pitchers. And I take the pitchers and I put them on a curve of 30. So currently, I have the Astros ranked 5th in hitting, and I have the Rays ranked 6th in hitting. So both teams are hitting the ball pretty good. Bullpens, I have the Astros 6, I have the Rays 13, and starting pitching, Shane Baz goes for Tampa Bay. I have him ranked 21. I mean, his numbers are a little better than that, but I use a lot of peripherals and a lot of expected stats, like expected ERA and things like that, and he ranks quite low here. So when I have the starting pitcher ranked that low, with the Astros, who are hitting 5th in all of MLB, there's a couple ways to go. But what I do like about this play is right now on DraftKings, they offer outs recorded props. And Shane Baz is 17.5 outs recorded. So let me break that down for you. You divide the number by 3. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. So 18 outs is 6 innings. The prop is, will Shane Baz finish 6 innings of work? Yes or no? I would vote no on that. So I did my free play on the site is Shane Baz under 17 and a half outs recorded. I have another play on this if you'd like to hear it.
Absolutely. Let's hear what you got.
Okay. Let's do it. Gusto goes for the Astros, a Me Gusto Cerveza, Mr. Ryan Gusto, and he ranks 18. You know your Spanish? I'm from Arizona, so
yeah,
everyone in Arizona
just a little bit
Spanish.
there, Brandon. In case anybody wanted to know what his translation is, it's "I like beer."
Donde es el baño? Me gusta cerveza. So, just where's the bathroom and give me some beer. So, if you're from Arizona, you have to know Spanish. So, Gusto goes, and if you look at his numbers in his last 5 games, if you take a look at his walks, he's walked 3, he's walked 2, he's walked 3, he's walked 2, he's walked 2. So 2 or more walks in all 5 of his last starts. If you go to DraftKings and look at the walks allowed prop, it's over and under 1.5. I think easily Me Gusto Cerveza is going to walk at least 2 batters in this game. So I'm going with the over 1.5. It might be quite highly juiced at this point, but I still think it's a good bet because the guy just walks people like crazy. And I project 2.9 walks here. I think 1.5 easily clears.
All right. I like it. We're going to get into some baseball action today. Maybe I know I said I wasn't betting until football season, but I'm getting a little bored. Premier Lacrosse League does start tomorrow, but we're not going to get into that because otherwise Dan Alexander is going to go off the rails. But I do have a little action coming up. Let's get into this next game. We've got the Nationals taking on the Mariners in, I believe it's going to be in Seattle. Let's see if Dan will get the graphic up for me. And then let's hear you break down this game.
Listening to you talk about baseball is so funny.
It's awful. It's awful. Listen, in fairness, I got an hour and a half warning. Hey, Cal, you filling for WagerTalk today? I said, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, all right, I got to get this Premier Lacrosse League video done. And I had every tech issue imaginable. And then they didn't have the lineup for the 4th game. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to here you go, Brandon. Just give the people what they want. They just want to hear you talk baseball. And if they want to hear anything more in depth, they can watch Total Bases this morning.
I am multitasking right now. I'm answering people in the chat. And yes, he's natural. You are correct. I was drinking the Fireball on Tuesday's show as well. Some people get a shock watching me drink Fireball at 8 a.m. in American time, but keep in mind it's 10 p.m. here in Japan. And
wait, I didn't even know. Are you just swigging it out of the bottle? Are we just college style?
I am.
Are you drinking on the rocks?
No, I have a bottle here and I'm not going to do it on this show though.
No wonder they get a kick out of it.
So this show is a little bit step up in class rather than our Total Bases show. So I don't have the Fireball bottle in my hand right now, but it's over there. But yeah, I'm not going to swig.
Yeah, but you don't even keep it on ice. You're drinking room temperature Fireball. It is exactly like college.
You can't drink Fireball cold, can you?
That's the only way you can even try to attempt to drink it. I cannot drink Fireball anymore, but let alone warm.
Fireball is pretty much the only alcohol I drink. Well, I like Kahlua and cream as well. But so I like sweet. I like, Fireball's sweet to me though. It's almost like water at this point. But that's another story for another day. Kelly, I love you listening to you talk about baseball. And I love you, Kelly. You're great. So you're correct. The Washington Nationals are going to Seattle. This is an interesting matchup because we got Emerson Hancock and Mackenzie Gore. And Mackenzie Gore is a pitcher who ranks really high in my numbers. I don't like him as much on the eyeball test, but he ranks extremely high on my numbers. 2 teams with pretty poor bullpens. I have them both ranked 19 out of 30. And hitting, they're both very, very average. Got Washington, below average, actually. I got Washington ranked 20, and I got Seattle ranked 16. So how do we approach this one? I think the Seattle team total under would be the way to go right now because they're in a little bit of a funk and Mackenzie Gore is just dominating. I know he's not a household name and I know he's not a pitcher that is extremely consistent, But in my ranking, like 250 pitchers, he's ranked 19. So that you got to give him some props for that. Seattle is a park that doesn't allow a lot of runs. It's a pitcher's park, so to speak. And Mackenzie Gore is only walking 26% of the guys that he's striking out, which is an incredible rate compared to normal pitchers who are in the 30 to 40 range, like Emerson Hancock is 47. I like Mackenzie Gore here. I think he's going to shut down the Seattle Mariners. I would either take their team total 3.5 under for the game, but Washington's bullpen is tough to trust. Maybe the first 5 Seattle under 1.5 would be a good play here. I think Mackenzie Gore will give up maybe a run, but I doubt he gives up 2. So let's go with Seattle Mariners under 1.5 runs in the first 5 innings. I think that's a good bet.
All right. I've also now just figured out how to get into the comment section on StreamYard. It's a learning process here at WagerTalk. The problem is I can't connect it because I don't know my YouTube password. So I don't want to log in as WagerTalk TV. I
actually have the YouTube stream open on another tab, so I'm commenting there. So
okay, got it. Because now I can see everything, and yes,
and it's 1 a.m. here, and I'm still multitasking and drinking Fireball. So you gotta love it.
Good for you. It is time for you to go to bed because if Andy Lang is watching, he is having a complete and utter meltdown about how I've been hosting the show, and he's got to be like, Kelly, I've worked so hard over the last few weeks to build up the show, and it's just off the rails. Brandon, you are the best.
You are awesome. Don't let anyone tell you different. I'm sure they don't tell you different. Use the code TB3. You can get 3 days all access to me for $39. Go to my page, put a 3-day pass in your cart and use TB3 at checkout. And number 1, all sports profit capper 3 of the last 4 years. And currently I'm plus 35 in 2025. So not a bad guy to ride with. Kelly, don't ever let anyone tell you you're not the best.
All right, Brandon, you have a good one. Get some rest. Enjoy some Fireball. Let's bring in Nick Parsons from sportsmemo.com. Nick, I know you're going to have some stuff to promote, but really quickly, I wanted to promote one of the guys over there that has a $2 Thursday. You get his best bet for just $2. That is
Eric Cohen.
Eric Cohen. Yeah, I'm sorry. Eric Cohen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's the $2 Thursday capper at Sports Memo, Kelly. He's a really well-known personality. He's actually was on TSN both behind the camera and in front of it. And he started off his career at Sports Memo really hot. He's 6-2 overall, 75%. 5-1 his last 6. He has a 5% play going on the NHL game tonight. So you can pick that up for $2 over at Sports Memo. A great way to check out the new capper at Sports Memo. Just $2 and a legit run that he's on as well to start his career.
That is awesome. Nick, I forgot to do this with Tokyo Brandon. Whoops.
Right.
What's hot and what's not? One of the new segments we're doing here on WagerTalk today, where we're just showing how transparent we are at WagerTalk.com. So, Nick, what have you been running hot in and what is running not so hot?
Right. I've been having a great overall season here in 2024-25, playing with house money in 4 different sports. And so I've been really extremely consistent since November. Had great NFL, college football, NBA, NHL, and college basketball seasons. But yeah, anyone who jumped on board right at the start of May wouldn't think so. I've had a really crummy May. And so, yeah, long-term, all my long-term clients, they're loving it. They're having the best seasons of their career. But yeah, over the last 3 weeks, it's been a bit of a struggle. But again, I'm coming off a sweep last night. I went 2-0. I went 3-0 with my free play. So things already turning around here. But yeah, there you go. Long-term, short-term. Steve Merril touched on that a bit at the start.
Absolutely. We are looking for the long-term, and I understand that short-term setbacks, we just adjust and keep moving forward here at WagerTalk.com. Let's get into this NHL game. Nick, the Florida Panthers, they are already in the Stanley Cup. We've got Dallas and Edmonton fighting for the second spot. Dallas opened a $1.25 favorite, and it's seen some money up to as high as minus 135, 140 at some of the offshores even. Total pretty much sitting at 6 across the board, except for 5.5 there at DraftKings. Talk to me about this Edmonton-Dallas game tonight, as well as a potential game there on Saturday.
Yeah, well, just like you, when I first came into this show, I had to do a little adjustment as well. I thought I was going to be talking about the Knicks game here, but then I got switched up here and I'm doing the NHL, which is fine. I'm number 2 overall in the NHL this year over at Sports Memo. But yeah, you know what? I think I'm pretty sure that we won't have any more NBA or NHL playoffs after tonight. I think that both of those 3-1 teams are going to get the job done. Despite this being a road game, I think that Edmonton offers a lot of value here. Clearly, the momentum is on the Oilers' side. They've posted the 3 straight victories. Stuart Skinner, he's been completely lights out over that time. He's only let in the 2 goals, and while Edmonton has scored 13 of its own over that time. The Oilers, they've won 5 of their last 6 games. The Stars, they've dropped 4 of their last 6. So these 2 teams are definitely moving in opposite directions. Edmonton is also firing on all cylinders on the power play. It's converting just over 23% of its power play chances. And I think it's really important also, Kelly, to look at their current stats compared to what they were doing in the regular season. The Oilers averaged 3.16 goals per game in the regular season, but they're now averaging 3.93 in the playoffs. Edmonton allowed 2.87 goals per game in the regular season and now just giving up 2.80. And then quickly, Dallas, it averaged 3.35 goals per game in the regular season, now only averaging 2.47 in the playoffs. In the regular season, it allowed only 2.71, but now here in the playoffs, it's allowing 3.35. So yeah, the Stars came into the playoffs on a losing streak, Kelly, and that was due mostly to injury to a couple of key players. They managed to bounce back a little bit here, but I think it's really catching up to them now. Connor McDavid is by far the best player in the playoffs this year. He has 24 points. That's 5 goals and 19 assists. Yeah, as I said at the start, I think getting Edmonton here at plus money is a bit of a gift. And so that's why I like here in Game 5, rolling with Edmonton.
So you like Edmonton versus the Panthers then? Or do you think the Panthers and the teams from Florida just keep winning the Stanley Cup?
You know, well, if you're a conspiracy theorist, then you would definitely like the Florida teams because, of course, the people believe that the NHL wants the American teams to win. It's really going to come down to the goaltending. Bobrovsky, he's really tough to beat when he's posting all of these shutouts, and Florida is such a disciplined team there. You could see they were down 2-0 last night and then had that huge third period. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see the lines. Most of Canada, where I'm from, is cheering for the Oilers, but we'll just see. We'll have to see after tonight, I guess.
Awesome stuff, Nick Parsons. You came on to talk NBA, and then I switched you last minute to do NHL, so we always appreciate you. What do you have to promote right now over at sportsmemo.com?
In fact, I do have a big play on the NBA, guys. I'm not only am I the number 2 NHL handicapper at Sports Memo this year, I'm also the number 2 NBA handicapper at Sports Memo this year. I've hit back-to-back playoff games, and so I have a first half play tonight going in New York. So go check that out.
All right, first half play, and boy, do we need it. We need some excitement in the NBA. So I'll be cheering for Knicks first half play. You guys can get that over there on sportsmemo.com. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Now that I finally figured out how to join the comment section, I'll try to keep up with you guys over there. Let's bring in Dave Mason from Bet Online. Love me some Dave. Dave, I gotta know. Are we gonna see the line of Clay Travis versus Angel Reese put up on Bet Online anytime soon?
I'm in the dark. What happened? I was offline yesterday. I had to go do some personal stuff and a couple meetings. So is something juicy happening?
Yeah, like the last couple of days. I think Steve's behind in the news cycle. But Clay Travis challenged Angel Reese, $100,000, first 1 to 15. He said he can beat her straight up. I got a text from a mutual friend of ours, Raphael. He said, "What do you think?" I said, I make Clay Travis minus 150. He said, "Oh, you're dead wrong. Angel Reese is going to be the favorite here." So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that matchup.
Clay's what, about 6 feet tall?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Man, I've never seen him play basketball, so this is just in the dark. I'd have to do some research, but I would give Angel Reese. I would make her a small favorite. take some bets and go from there. But no, that's thanks for the heads up on that. I'll get on that after I hang up with you. So absolutely, we need those odds.
I think it's fun. It's probably never going to happen, though. Unfortunately,
No,
I would still love to see it.
But if that does happen, I mean, good God, that would be the most watched women's basketball game of the year, or whatever, man. That'd be great.
It absolutely would be. I think even just for charity, it's a good cause.
Yes,
Let's get into some of the questions I've had throughout the show. Thunder Pacers, man. If that ends up being the NBA Finals, is that bad news for the books? Two smaller markets, no really big all-star type names that we're used to.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that NBA Finals?
I mean, betting wise, from a future standpoint, it's great. We needed Minnesota out of there. Not that they're a big market by any means, but just from looking at the needs. I mean, Knicks would be better though. We're still room for the Knicks. Knicks would be great. Knicks OKC would be perfect for us just from a future standpoint. But it's funny. Yeah, there's no LeBron, there's no Lakers, there's no Celtics, but I think some people. I mean, I myself, I'm more interested in it this year just because of the new team. So I think for every person who wants to see LeBron and the Celtics every year, I think there's a guy like me who's more interested in just seeing. Well, my Sixers always sucked, so there's no hope there. But there's a guy like me who's just, wants to see the new blood, and so this playoffs has been pretty enjoyable for me. Not that I'm winning betting by any means, because that really isn't my strength. But just from a fan point of view, I think we'll be all right. I think new blood is, at the end of the day, it's the last NBA of the year. People are going to be betting it. We'll be up a little bit, down a little bit. I don't know, but there'll be good action on it.
Speaking of new blood, we probably won't see that in the Stanley Cup, but the Florida Panthers have secured their spot and either going to play the Dallas Stars or most likely the Edmonton Oilers. What do you guys have not only for that game tonight, but as far as liability goes for the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, let's see here. We need Edmonton. I mean, there's so many moving parts to this, right? We need Edmonton small tonight, but need the Stars small on the series. Then for the West, both are very good winners for us. For the Cup, Panthers, they're our biggest win, so that's good there. They're minus 115. Oilers are medium win. Stars are extra small loss. So yeah, end of the day, we're rooting for a Panthers Oilers Stanley Cup with the Panthers repeating.
Yeah, I will also be cheering for the Panthers repeat.
I'm sure you will.
It's been an exciting few years living in Florida, just watching Stanley Cup winners. Dave, before we let you go, what else do you guys have going on over at Bet Online? It kind of seems like we're kind of in the lull of summer, but obviously you guys have all your NFL season totals up. You got college football up. Talk to me about what you guys have up as far as your betting menu for the upcoming football season.
Yeah, I mean, it's quote unquote the slow season here. But there's action 365. It's kind of, I work more on the marketing side of things. So these are the months we actually really work hard on. It's kind of like COVID. It was like, we're trying to get action out of marbles and all these silly races and stuff. So, from the marketing point of view, we're always, moving forward. But, the summer, the next couple of months are fun. There's big golf, big tennis, a lot of good fighting coming up. And if you're baseball, we still have MLB dime lines that they're kind of an endangered animal right now. More and more books are getting away from them, but we still have some of the best MLB dime lines out there. So get on over to betonline.ag this summer.
Dave, you are the best. At Dave Mason BLL. He puts out tons of good content. I particularly I have my little button on to alert me whenever he's tweeting about UFC. Like, you got 45 seconds. He tweets, "Hey, we need this fighter." And then you just bet that fighter. It is what we like to do on Saturdays before UFC. So if you guys are not following Dave, you guys are missing out. BetOnline.com. Anything else, Dave, before I let you go?
That's it. Thanks for having me, Kelly.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us here on Wager Talk Today. Somehow we made it within the 45-minute deadline, even though we were running super late. We're going to run it back tomorrow. Again, well wishes to our host, Andy Lang. We hope you're feeling better. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here, jumping in the comments section, hitting that like button, and of course, subscribing. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.